like nectar. For Welcome to the Hope Show. It's like nectar for your soul. And now, please welcome our hosts, Eric Lamont and Tara Strength.
Hello, everybody. Normally I wish you peace and love, but given the topics that we have tonight, peace and love might be a little bit of a far fetched wish. But welcome to the Hope Show. I'm your host, along with the metaphysical bully stick
Oh my God.
and the Mamba of Love, Terrace Strength. How you doing, Terrace?
I'm doing all right, man. I just want to ask you, Dr. Lamont, are you enjoying your summer?
Am I enjoying myself? Well, we took a week off, folks, because Terrace and I took our normal week off because Terrace was actually here in town visiting me and family and listening to music or not listening to music because he was criticizing the equipment.
Oh man, here we go.
and getting some other stuff done, some other very, very important stuff. So, Terrace, having you in town was actually a lot of fun. We actually got to see some live jazz one night, and
Yes, that's right. I forgot
had,
about that.
had a
Yeah,
really, really good time. So, yeah, I am enjoying my summer.
yeah. We
Uh,
had a.
it, it's flying by.
It is flying by. I had a great time. Uh, I'm on. We're on the Hope Show, and we say things sometimes we shouldn't say, and you
I,
know,
I
I
don't
just
think we
want to
ever
know.
say
I,
things that
I
we
just
shouldn't
want to
say.
know. Can I talk about streamers now?
Oh,
Streamers.
geez, no, please do not talk about streamers. So one thing you have to know about Terrace is I always say that guys have a couple of basic topics that all guys talk about. I'm not going to go into it, but Terrace has a couple of additional topics that he likes to talk about. One is Corvettes. Figure that one out. And the other one is audio equipment. Now, granted, the audio equipment stuff,
Oh,
is
goodness.
great, and I could tell you guys about how he kind of got me into the whole high end audio equipment. Uh, look, Listen, I'm going to have to tell the story. Why not? So,
Oh
Terrace
no.
and I used Terrace and I used to share an office down the hall from each other.
Oh my
Right when I
goodness.
was running the company, he was running the company, and I would always try to get Terrace to occasionally go out on a Friday night to hang out. And Terrace would be like, "Nah, I'm not going out." And I was like, I've never met very many guys that don't. I don't have a whole lot of male friends. I got maybe two, three, really, really close male friends, and I was just trying to get Terrace to just hang out with the guys. And he was like, "Nah." He was like, "As a matter of fact, I'm going home to listen to some music." And I was like, "Well, that's." Then he invited me over, and I'm like, "All right." So I've offered him the opportunity to go hang out with the guys. He's offered me the opportunity to come over to his house and listen to some music with him. I thought it was the oddest thing I had ever experienced in life from another man. And so I remember going out and I told Vic, I was like, "Hey, I'm going over this guy Terrace's house and to supposedly listen to this Jeffrey Dahmer dude's music, right? I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up in a trash bag and my body,
This
in
is
some
true.
saran wrap in the freezer or something. Because I just have never known a guy that's like, hey, let's hang out on a Friday night and listen to music together. It was just odd. And so and so I go over to Terrace's house and he turns on the stereo and warms it up and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, "Yeah, you say you like music, but we're gonna see if you really like music." And he turned on his stereo and played some song. I don't even remember who it was. It's probably it was. I remember it being someone that I didn't like. I'm not a big Whitney Houston fan. Like she's god awful talented, and I know where she sits in the pantheon of musical artists. But I'm just not like the person who's going to sit down and put on some Whitney Houston. I think you put on a Whitney Houston song, and people suffice to say that I sat on this man's couch and started to cry because the music sounded so good. Next thing you know, we're off to do an audio. We're traveling to New York City, going from room to room at audio
Oh
shows.
my God.
Listening to $65,000 speakers and $45,000 turntables,
Oh my
and he created a lifelong love with high-end audio equipment that I now have. It, I think my son now has. I'm sure my daughters probably have it, and my sister
God.
recently invested into a stereo. She got the speakers that I just love. It's my favorite brand. She did her own research, etc., and has put together a system that, quite honestly, I sit on her couch and cry too. So Terrace is one of those guys who has these, when he locks into something, and he only locks into a couple things, Corvettes and stereo systems being two
Corvettes.
of
Oh
them.
my God.
So he calls me 15 minutes before the show today. He's like, I just got one thing to talk to you about before the show. And I'm looking through my notes. I'm like, oh man, did we forget something here? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he starts to talk about audio streamers. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, we are 15 minutes from the start of the show. I got all these production issues happening, right? It's going to be a nightmare getting these videos to play. And you want to talk about streamers.
Listen, if you could talk about Prince and Stephen A. Smith, I could talk about streamers.
Let's be real. Two things. Number one, I really don't talk about Prince a lot. I might send videos, but I don't call you like, hey,
we have Prince. We have video clips, and thank God for clips.
Yeah. I mean, oh no, you mean on the show?
On the show.
Do you want us to put up a slide at the end and talk about streamers?
No.
We can.
No.
We can. Well, tonight's show is very interesting. And we probably should talk about streamers because the topics we have may actually get us in trouble.
Exactly.
Tonight's show.
That's true.
Right now, there is before we get started, I want to say tonight's show is brought to you by votebrother.org, www.votebrother.org, and democracyheadquarters.com. So tonight's show, there's a trend happening right now on social media where people are talking a lot about black professional athletes who date white women, right? And why, right? And the whole psychology behind that. So that's one topic tonight. We're actually going to revisit another someone that we had as a video on another show, Andrew Tate, the king of toxic masculinity. He and his brother were recently arrested in Miami for sexual assault and human trafficking. We can get into it, but it's always funny. The guys that kind of purport themselves to be the best amongst us are the ones that are behind the scenes doing illegal, freaky stuff to women against their will. It just fascinates me. The FBI statistics are out there, so look at it, guys. It's not the immigrants. I'll just leave it at that. And then the third topic is one that we do talk about a lot, and it's Caitlyn Clark, who is a generational talent in the WNBA, but just gets hate from all sides. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, Terrence, let's dive into this white women, black athletes, and kind of a cultural blowback. I think one way to approach this, and this is a question that we have to ask is, and I want to put this out there as kind of like a conversation point, and then give you a couple of different points of view and see what you think about it. Do black athletes see white women as the prize, or do they see them as the partner? Before we get started, I did find some stats, and here's some interesting stats. Pew Research: 79% of black men in America are married to black women, right? In the general population of America, that's 80%. So 4 out of 5,
okay,
right? So 4 out of 5 black men in America are married to black women. A 2022 analysis of black NBA players, National Basketball Association professional athletes, found out that only 28% of them are married to black women. 30% are married to biracial mixed women, and 41.7%, which is getting close to half, are married to non-black women. Right, so the gap between the general population and NBA players specifically is the real documented anomaly driving this discourse that we're talking about here. So 2 theories, Terrence, and I'll shut up and let you go here. One is, the proximity access theory, which is NBA players spend their formative years in predominantly white settings, private schools, elite universities, professional locker rooms. And so access and proximity plays a role in who they decide to marry. The second one, which is probably the one that a lot of people really want to subscribe this to, is that it's the devaluation exotification theory, which is media has historically devalued Black women while exotifying non-Black women, leading some men to internalize these preferences. So, what say you, Mr. Wright? It's a heavy one, right?
I have three bullet points on that. The reality of hypergamy coaching, systemic power dynamics, and the emotional truth of all of it. And
I don't even know the first word. What is it? Hypergamy.
Hypergamy.
I'm going to have to write that down.
Yes. There is a highly visible online industry ranging from social media influencers to digital ebooks that openly teaches women, often specifically white or non-Black women, how to enter elite social circles, cultivate a specific aesthetic, and secure relationships with high-earning Black athletes.
I heard that was the case. So that's real.
Yes.
There are courses teaching white women how to pick up rich, soon-to-be rich, or future rich Black guys.
Yes.
You could knock me over with a feather.
Yeah, and basically what it does is that it weaponizes historical racial dynamics. It's what's going on. Okay, they rely on societal biases that value certain Eurocentric beauty standards, utilizing them as currency to access the generational wealth generated by Black athletes, while sometimes, most of the time, disregarding the emotional or cultural realities of those partnerships. So basically, it's a byproduct of what we've gone through in this country and our lack of maintaining our unity, from an Afrocentric perspective, right? So, for us, we run around and we say, you just love who you love, right? Other groups don't really say that. Although we know there are people in other groups that marry outside of their groups, right? We know this, right? But the group as a whole doesn't say that the way we say that. We still are dealing with the effects of slavery and oppression. I mean, we're still grappling with that. And so that speaks to the complexities that we experience in this country in many facets, right? We're going to talk about some of them. We're going to talk about the guys that created the manosphere or purported the manosphere. We're going to talk about the Caitlyn Clark situation and the racial dynamics involved in that also. But that is the United States of America, right? And in Europe is what we grapple with. And so on the Hope Show,
so you're believing that
we want to try to unravel that.
So you're believing that this is part and parcel to what has been the history of America.
Well, yeah, and the emotional truth of it, right? We can talk about it from a scientific perspective, but the emotional truth is looking past the strategic veneer reveals a transactional commodification of marriage and relationships. That's the real problem, right? It replaces genuine, vulnerable human connection with a calculated pursuit of status, turning both parties into commodities within a broader consumer culture. Okay, yeah. So it's about power and money. It's not about love and connection. It's about what can you do for me? And if you leave me, I'm going to take half of your money. And the byproduct of that is you have young men and women that are, if they're not the elite, they're like, I don't want to deal with this.
So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about why you think the white women are doing that. But what does that say about the Black men and why they choose to do that, right? Because they can have all the classes that they want, but the guys have to say, yeah, I do.
Well, right? Unconsciously, they believe that white is the prize. Unfortunately, that's the prize. That's the pinnacle. Many of them, not all of them, right? But
Well,
of the
a couple
stats.
like that. LeBron James,
Right.
right, has been married to
He's
his
the minority,
African
right?
American wife for a long time,
Right, yeah, right,
right?
absolutely. He's the right. Steph Curry, uh, but we see a lot of it, and it's. I think the broader issue is the impact that it has on women, on African American women. To be honest, I think it's an even it's an even more. I think the
Yeah,
impact is more catastrophic on them that
yeah,
that they see their men, right, as soon as they make a lot of money or rise up through the ranks, they see somebody else as a partner other than them, someone that looks like them. You know, uh,
yeah.
I just think that speaks
Part
to
of watching videos, I saw an African American female said that when she sees an interracial couple and she sees a black man with a white woman, her perception is, and she says she's trying to outgrow it or become more mature about it. Her perception is that he's a weak man, right? That there's something in him that is weak um, for whatever reason. And her perception, if she sees a black female and a white man, is that she thinks that the sister has given up. Like she's tired of the fight of being black and oppressed in America, and she realizes that it's a whole lot easier if she just switches teams. What do you think about that?
yeah. I mean, I think there's some truth. I think there's some truth to that. I think when we don't have a coordinated collective agenda to try to maintain and take care of us, and I'm speaking from an ethnic perspective. This is what you get. This is all a big issue because of the history of the African in America, right? That's the only reason why all of this is a big issue because of our history. When you look at our history in this country, it's easy to ask yourself, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Like, of all people, how could this happen?
Yeah.
How could this happen? When we look at the resume and look at the history of the African in this country and how we got here and what is happening, not even that long ago, it's understandable for them to feel some way about it. That's
Yeah.
all.
Most people don't know. I'm reading this book now called "The Sum of Us," which talks about racism in America and how racism actually hurts everyone. Most people think that racism only hurts blacks, but it actually hurts white folks
Everyone.
too, right? And one of the thing, there's a lot in that book that I could share. So if you get a chance, maybe I'll throw it up on the screen and let
And
people
maybe
take
we
a
do
look
a
at it.
show. We do an expose.
Yeah,
Not do a full
I
show.
would love to get that to
Yeah.
get the author on the show. But one of the things that most people don't realize, and I learned this by going to the African American History Museum in Washington D.C., is that and this speaks to the devaluing of African American women. That male gynecologists obviously used to experiment, operate on live African American females without anesthesia while they were trying to learn how to become gynecologists, they practiced. They basically used African American females as practice dummies, right? And it's a fact, right? And so when you think about that historical devaluing of African American women,
Absolutely.
it's been going on for a long
And
time.
and that's the resume that I'm talking about that spurns these feelings, and they're valid. It's not
Yeah.
like they're not valid. They are valid.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
even that long ago. And I have conversations with people, and I say to them all the time, I say, you have the luxury of being ignorant on these topics because you cannot know the history and not feel very differently once you know the history. Now, I'm not saying for us, and we are trying, Black people tend to be loving people. We try to move forward and forgive and all this stuff. And I get that. And as souls, we should try to do that. But we need to also we need to also not be ignorant of our history and what's going on. It just explains a lot for us going forward.
Right. So I was going to say, I had some discussion points for us. I think we've answered a lot of them. I was going to say, is it actually a pattern or does it just feel more visible because professional athletes are in the media more? But the statistics bear it out. So we know the answer to that. It's real. Does proximity explain it, or is that a comfortable excuse? You're saying that it is not proximity. You're saying that it's much deeper than that. I do have a question. What impact, and then we're going to get to some videos, what impact do you think that this has on the Black women who watch this play out publicly?
I think there's hidden resentment. I think there's a resentment. I think they're disappointed in their men, in Black men. There's a marked level of disappointment and sadness and feelings of rejection. It would have to be.
Yeah. And then
it would have to be. Like, what would we expect the Black woman to do when she's watching this play out? How would we expect her to respond to this?
Yeah. Well, we've got your point of view. We've got my point of view. We've got the statistics. We're going to see if we can play a video now, and we're going to get some other points of view. And then the FEC is going to come shut us down. So, so here we go. All right.
I guess I should have been asking you about the streamers. My bad.
Uh-oh. We lost it.
That's on me. That's on me.
You should have been asking me about the streamers. I told you we're having some production issues. In the meantime, Terrence, one quick question while I get this teed up. What do you think this reveals about African American men?
We need to learn more about our history. We need to mature and learn more about women, and we need to learn more about our history, and we need to learn more about ourselves. It just speaks to our lack of knowledge about our history. Because there's a lot of emotional resentment. We have also internalized our powerlessness in this country, in this society. We've internalized it. And so if marrying a white woman can give us a hit of power, as soon as we get successful, we jump on it and we don't realize it's unconscious. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. This is one of your favorites. Let's see if we can get Dr. Umar.
One of my favorites. Now, I ain't never even seen the video.
I thought you liked this. I've heard you quote this guy before.
You heard me study Black women, Art. Stereotypical Black women, right? They studied them. And they said, we're going to be the opposite of the stereotypical Black woman. They want to be loud. They want to be argumentative. Allegedly, right? Because this is the stereotype. Most of our women are not. They want to be loud. They want to be argumentative. They want to control their men. So the Snow Bunny said, we're not going to do none of that. They studied Black.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, he's right. He's right so far.
Yeah, he is basically saying that it is a concerted effort that they watch Black women and what purported to be how African American women act. And then they decide that they're going to, I don't know, be the opposite, I guess. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You think that's real?
Do I think it's real?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's real. But you have to have you have to have enablers and players on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And without culture that binds us together in a collective effort, then these manipulations can happen. These things take place. So that's the only way that can happen. It's very similar to a married couple and the kids will play mommy against daddy or daddy against mommy. If mommy and daddy don't coordinate, don't shore up the ship and work in a coordinated manner, the child will manipulate and really will cause emotional damage to the child.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this because we're both parents. Like, we understand this.
Yeah.
So you have to be together. You have to be together. And right now, we're not as together as we need to be.
All right. Well, let's get Cam Newton's opinion on this whole thing.
Women teaching younger sister how to get an NFL or NBA level athlete while in college. Listen to what she say. Her little sister says, I want a football player, NFL, preferably a tall chocolate one. Like you did. I want your life. That's easy, but you have to play your cards right. You can't be an emotional little girl. Teach me. Number one, he's the prize. Remember, he can change your life. You can't change his. 2, dealing with cheating, don't look for it. Girls will throw themselves at him and some will succeed. It is just a fling. Let it go. But don't let him get emotionally attached to one of them. P.S. He always be attracted to black girls. Activate the shenanigans in her by picking at her and let him see it. He'll ditch her real quick. LOL. Wow. If she's like us, it'll be harder because more than likely she's playing to win him too. Make him choose. 3, be an asset to him. Fold his clothes, buy and bring him his food.
Press pause right there, Peggy.
Now we got to go help people customize and save
What did he say?
Huh?
What did he say, Dan?
He said, "Press pause right there." All right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he asked him to press pause, and we got a little commercial here happening. But basically, Cam Newton goes on to talk about very specifically how he completely supports that line of thinking. Right? It's Cam Newton, so you have to take Cam Newton with a grain of salt. But
I just want to make a comment about us men, right? Are we really that okay? So are we really that starved for respect, right? Are we really that much in our feminine that we are that starved for validation and respect at all costs, right? At all costs, even at the expense of women that look like us. Because for me, that's where I'm beginning to draw the line, right? I'm saying personally. Okay, when we talk about manipulation, are we that starved? So there are no black women that are willing to respect us the way we feel like we need to be respected, right? And again, we all have healing to do. You know what I'm saying? We have healing to do because it's just that to me is even more disturbing. Like that makes me sad to see that as men who want to be in our masculine, who want to be seen as leaders, we are that immature and that needy for any type of respect from anywhere. It doesn't matter to us because we are that needy for validation in that way. And I just that just really bothers me.
well, I mean, I don't know what it has to do with masculinity, but clearly we all suffer from a need to be validated. Like it's a basic human need to be validated.
Absolutely. I mean,
And
absolutely.
so where that falls down with African American men, I mean, because I've been with you up to this point, but what you're basically saying is the only reason, based on what I think you just heard, is that the only reason that these black athletes go to white women is because they need validation. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Or no, you said, are we so in our masculine that the validation? I mean, so in our feminine that
yes.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying: that white women can use a playbook, and we are so starved
well,
validation that we can know they're using a book and it's okay anyway. Because we're at the center. They're doing this for me. I'm the prize, right? They're saying that I'm the prize. Now, I get that. At some level, as a man, I understand that. But you gotta be able to see a little bit beyond that, right? You got to be able to see beyond that. That's all I'm saying. What do I know, right?
Let's pick Cam up after the commercial. See what he said.
Okay.
Pause right there, Peggy. Because let me tell you something, brother. Boy, first off, I need to cite that source. I need to see where she at and who she got and what she looked like. And boy, she got
why you got canceled.
Because she was on vacation at the time.
I don't care what she was, but she was preaching the gospel. Because she need to have some disciples.
She creating some.
Because boy, if that's true, I was like, whoa, there's nothing more valuable. And us men can relate to this. Then a helpful a woman that's just gonna find an issue. And while finding that issue, they got a solution. Oh, that's a person that's gonna find smoke and not panic, they're gonna find an extinguisher.
Hmm.
See, that's the thing. Like, oh, whoa. Find a problem and be the fixer of that problem.
Yeah.
See, that creates more value than anything else. See,
All right, so you see what he's saying,
Yes.
right? He's basically saying, okay, maybe there's some value to what this person is teaching, and maybe the answer, Terrence, is maybe we need to teach our Black women exactly that message too, right?
So
Because what he's saying is there's nothing wrong with the playbook,
well, you know what?
right?
And
Maybe
you're right.
maybe our women have the wrong playbook.
Yes, and let me say this. Let me say it in this way, because I feel as a man that when it comes to our sisters, we need to move more towards compassion towards our sisters. But they also, as Black women, need to understand what's going on in the other side also. Maybe they've taken this anger, aggression thing a little too far at times also. Both sides need to move more towards the middle, right? It's a lesson for both of us. We understand the historical consequences of what is going on and what we both endured. And this is playing out, the impact of it is playing out on both sides, right? For Black men, for Black women, it's playing out. And all I ask is that we just move towards healing, right? That we talk about it. And we talk about it with compassion and love on both sides, right? Because ultimately that's what's needed, right? So there is some truth in the fact that men need to feel more validated by their women, despite the history. We need to feel more valued. We need to feel like men. We don't always want to fight all the time, right? And I understand that. And on the men's side, we need to understand that our women have felt betrayed and abandoned. And they're angry about that, right? They have strong feelings about being abandoned, and we weren't in a space to protect them. So that is also true. So we need to come together and hug each other, right? Emotionally hug each other and nurture each other and try to find our way back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because the truth is somewhere in between.
All right. So I've given you the good, right? We gave you some facts about it. We talked about it. Now I'm going to set us back about 20 years with this next clip, where we had to get somebody else's opinion, right? Cam Newton is basically saying, "Hey, the playbook is right. You know, the problem is that we need to give the playbook to our sisters because what she's speaking is value, what men find valuable, right? You've obviously given your point of view. Here's another point of view of someone who is going to tell us why he believes. His name is Charleston White.
Oh no!
He's supposed to be some internet sensation or something like that. You apparently know who Charleston is.
Please.
So let's see if we can get Charleston's opinion.
See, now I'm gonna get upset.
We don't have volume.
Yeah, she go get all the money affairs and all to make sure the businesses run smooth. Go get the charity, and the Black woman be squabbling with you about your dick. Yeah, your Black woman go squabble with you about your dick. White woman go open charities up, start doing book clubs and reading shit, making sure she picked a accountant and financial advisor, and the Black bitch go be one of my bitch. Who is that called? Who is that?
I just can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't.
I just
can't.
To me, he's offensive.
I can't go any further with that.
He's offensive and ignorant, basically.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
but I guarantee you that because of this topic, he is getting more views than we will. Like that's the reality of it.
And you know what? I understand that, and that's okay because that's where we are, right? That's where we are. But you know, he's offensive. You know, you have daughters. Wait a minute. You have daughters. I have daughters. Matter of fact, we have the same amount of daughters. Okay. And no, I'm offended.
So he was basically saying, let's look instead of biting off his finger, let's look to where it was pointing. What he was basically saying is that it's a business arrangement, and the white wife is going to be a better business partner, while the Black woman worries about who he's sleeping with. right? That's basically what he's saying.
And,
Right.
and that's what I spoke to earlier on my little diatribe when I said it reveals a transactional commodification of marriage and relationships.
Yeah.
There's nothing spiritual about it. There's nothing historical about it.
So you agree with him. So you're saying that it is impossible for a black professional athlete and a white female to have a real relationship that is based on love and it has a spiritual base.
I'm not going to say that, right? That would be a lie if I said I'm not going to say that. What I am saying is that when we see certain trends and the numbers are where they are, and that is speaking to a culture or climate. It's speaking to something greater than just the two individuals.
Okay. All right.
That's what I would say.
Let's move on. Let's shift gears. Andrew Tate was arrested last week in Miami. And again, he's a guy who, if you know Andrew Tate, he's probably equally as offensive as the guy that we just showed. I looked through a bunch of Andrew Tate clips today and just couldn't settle on one because they were all first of all, they were all the same. Like he thinks he's God, and and women are objects, right? That he
exactly
can do what he wants to with. And so
that's
to that end,
that's the manosphere philosophy.
and he's made millions of dollars, propagating this BS. So if you're an Andrew Tate fan, God bless you. Your boy's in jail. Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested Saturday, July 18th in Miami by U.S. Marshals after British authorities filed new sex trafficking and rape charges and sought extradition. 38 new charges total. 7 UK victims. Andrew Tate, 7 additional counts of rape because he's been charged before. 7 accounts of rape, 3 accounts of arranging, facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault, 19 charges relating to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. How in the hell, Terrace, does a guy like this become one of the most popular people on the globe? Like, this is vile. I know whatever that guy's name Charleston was, like Charleston's not running around driving a Lamborghini. Charleston's videos pop up and everybody's like, yeah, he's an idiot. This guy says stuff and he has become a multimillionaire. And while he's around with child pornography and trafficking women and raping and sexually, so how does that happen in this world?
It speaks to the disenfranchisement of young men who I just lost my thought, who don't feel like they have any respect, who are starved for validation, who have been emasculated for various types of reasons. Either their fathers are not in their lives or their fathers are abusive, and everywhere in between, right? It speaks to that. It speaks to men who don't want to look at themselves, right? And have this, don't look at themselves and feel like they need to subjugate women in order to feel validated, versus elevating the women. They feel like they need to be subjugated because they are harboring resentment for whatever reason, right? Socioeconomic reasons, fathers not in their lives, or fathers abandon them and they're looking for something. These are the young men that follow the manosphere, right?
And there are a lot of
ideology.
There are a lot of followers. There are a lot of men who are running around right now feeling as if they are lost and unable to I guess in the traditional old school way, be men, right?
Right.
But he's got a very different toxic view of masculinity and what it means to be a man, right? I mean, his view of manhood is, and I've seen it, his view of manhood is, you have everything within your power to dominate. You should dominate at all times, right? And that is financially, and that is in terms of relationships and women. Don't fall in love because the next one's coming. Like, that's his whole view of masculinity, right? And clearly, he obviously is taking it too far, right? But so the question then is, what's the answer to that, right? Because I'm sure there's some people out there who are watching this who know Andrew Tate and probably follow Andrew Tate and have fallen under that spell. Like, and so how do we help people get out of that? How do we help guys get out of that?
By having shows like this and trying to give our young men another option, right? To teach them balance. You know, I've had shows on the divine masculine and what the divine masculine looks like.
So real quick, like if you could just sum it up, like in 20 seconds, like what do they need to focus on instead of focusing on guys like Andrew Tate?
They need to understand how the universe really works and how this realm really works. They need to learn more about the masculine, really, like what is the masculine, and learn more about the feminine, right? Because when you learn more about women or the feminine, you don't end up with this domination ideology. You understand, you begin to appreciate the feminine and understand that women ideologically are beings of love. Whether they understand that or not, they are, right? So that doesn't lead to domination of women. That leads to embracing and loving women, loving the essence of who they are, right? And when we do that, that actually puts us more in our masculine, right? It places us more in our masculine. So right. A lot of this stuff, really, all this domination and abuse is built out of fear. It's built out of fear and how you really showing how you feel about yourself underneath.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that because, you know, Terrence and I are working on some courses, et cetera, and I'm working on the Guide to Maniacal Happiness. And part of that conversation is about how we operate from two positions. We're either operating from a position of love or you're operating from a position of fear, right? Those are the only two
that exists.
Yeah, and most people, and I mean, you look at you look at the United States right now, it has been operating from a position of fear for probably about 12 years. Like everything that has come from, really has come from the right has been fear-based, making them fear all things that are not, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. That's just where it is. So before we shift gears and move to our final topic, I just want to, make sure that we give both sides to this. I mean, we said a lot about Andrew Tate. His attorney claims that the brothers were arrested for political reasons. His quote is that they were arrested for their politics, held in solitary confinement, been in Washington, D.C. for political meetings earlier in the month. That is their claim. That is not an established fact. However, Danny Pinter, National Center for Sexual Exploitation, says that she has a client who was coerced into trafficking by the brothers, and said that they are thankful that the authorities are courageously pursuing justice, and that her family are safer now. So, shifting. I'm sorry.
Very quickly, I want to speak to the emotional truth of this story before you wrap it up and go to
sure.
The next. Okay. The ongoing prosecution exposes the severe real-world consequences when extreme online rhetoric manifests as physical exploitation. For millions of young followers, it serves as a stark warning. An ideology built on the degradation of others and the suppression of empathy ultimately leads to systemic collapse and legal reckoning.
Yeah, well, unless you're talking about the Epstein files.
And let's talk about what?
Unless you're talking about the Epstein files, because there's been no legal reckoning there. It's the biggest cover-up in American history.
It's coming.
So, but I would only hope so. All right, so shifting gears. Thank you for that. So shifting gears, Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark is in the news every 3 days because she's being beat up. You got hate coming from all sides with Caitlyn Clark. And some of it, if you pay a close enough attention to it, some of it, she may have brought some of it on herself, maybe 10% of it on herself, because she, has been known to throw a tantrum or two in a basketball game when she doesn't get the call that she likes, right? But the reality of it is MJ threw tantrums all the time.
Yeah, all the great ones.
LeBron throws tantrums all the time.
Yeah.
Giannis throws tantrums,
All of them.
right? Right. I've never seen James Harden throw a tantrum. Have you ever seen James throw a tantrum?
He don't play no defense.
I was gonna say, it's
just
obscured
flops,
by his
you
beard.
know?
Yeah, exactly. It's obscured by his beard, maybe, but all the great ones throw tantrums, and Caitlyn has done so. But a couple of weeks ago, WNBA ball player put her hand on her neck. There was a discussion about whether or not it was intentional. I know that the WNBA commissioner was not going to suspend the player. Rumor has it that Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA, which is obviously in partnership with the WNBA, stepped in and mandated that they issue some type of fine or suspension or something for the player who was choking Caitlyn out on the basketball court. And so there was a 1-game suspension. But just what do you think's going on with this? I mean, what do you think's going on? Like,
again, this story drives me crazy. Okay, because
you're a WNBA fan. I think it's safe to say you're a WNBA fan.
I watched the games.
You watch the games, yes.
I watch the games, but I don't always watch the games. But I have to admit, Caitlyn Clark brought me to the WNBA.
Yeah,
it's absolutely true. It's like
I've been a big lover of basketball forever.
Yeah.
Like my sister is one of the best female basketball players I've ever seen play. So I've been supporting women in basketball all the way back when I was in high school, back in the 80s. I would go to women's basketball games because I just loved, to watch women play sport. But I have to admit, like you, that I didn't start watching the WNBA until Caitlyn Clark put on a WNBA uniform, because I saw just about every game that was on TV when she was at Iowa. Every significant game was on TV when she was at Iowa. I watched, right? And again, I've been watching women's NCAA basketball for a couple of decades, but I was not watching the WNBA
right
until Caitlyn showed up. Like
I wasn't even watching. I wasn't even watching women's college basketball. It happened to me very quickly. I want to tell my story.
Yeah,
right?
Let's hear it.
So I was watching TV one day, March Madness, and all I heard was Caitlyn Clark. So I decided to sit down and see what all this hubbub was about. I was like, I know it, and really didn't expect anything. I honestly didn't expect anything. So I hadn't been watching the WNBA. I hadn't been watching women play in college. I hadn't, right? So I turned on the game. And that night, she cooked those women for 41 points.
Barbecue chicken.
And I looked and I was like, she has nobody on her team. It was like her and some other little white girl. And they were like, she was cooking teams. And I was like, yo, what is this? And I was hooked. Now, listen, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I followed her all the way to the playoffs where she got knocked out finally by South Carolina or whatever. I remember that game. I think Caitlyn Clark had 18 points in the first quarter. And I was like, she's going to go for 50. She's about to go for 50. She better not go for 50. I remember saying that. And Dawn Staley went to her bench of freshmen and rained threes on Caitlyn Clark. You know what I mean? I followed her.
And you were hooked.
I was hooked. I'm not going to lie. I was hooked. I followed her through the draft. She got drafted. She went to the Fever. And then I watched her break 63 WNBA records.
Right. Yeah. As quiet as it's kept, because there are a lot of people who say that she's trash. Let's talk a little bit about what people are saying. There's a viral video showing Atlanta Dream's Brittany Griner. You might remember Brittany. Brittany was the one who was stuck in Russia for a while.
Yes.
Brittany Griner allegedly calling Clark, quote, trash, and a slur referencing her race. She also has had some unfortunate, undeserving nicknames on social media after perceived flopping in the game. And a racist message was sent to Las Vegas Aces star Chelsea Gray after a physical altercation with Clark. The sender was a Hilton Grand Vacations employee and was subsequently fired. So there's a lot of hostility going on. I mean, she's a basketball player. Let's be real. We're talking about women's pro basketball.
Right.
We've got people sending notes, getting fired from jobs all over Caitlyn Clark, the Caitlyn Clark phenomenon.
Yeah, and fans. My issue is fans are going to be. First of all, at least you have fans now to cause trouble. You know what I mean? You didn't have fans before. I mean, there were 3,000 people showing up at those games before the Caitlyn Clark phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean,
now Indiana Fever averaged 17,000 play. Like, it's crazy right now.
Yeah. And a couple of other things happened. Like, because she was so popular, they had to give her extra security, and ultimately led to them having to fly charter because before Caitlyn Clark, most people don't know this. Before Caitlyn Clark, you could go down to the airport in Atlanta, catching your flight to your vacation or your business meeting, and the WNBA team might have been in the airport doing a transfer, going to the game because they were flying coach, all over America to their games. And now every WNBA team flies chartered jets, private jets, and that is the Caitlyn Clark effect, right? In addition to the additional attendance and notoriety around the game, they also have seen a step up in terms of how they are taking care of as professional athletes. Clark has been pretty vocal about this. She despite the so let me just add, do you think there are two theories on this, Terrence? One is that it's rooted in race, and the other is that it's rooted in heterosexuality versus lesbianism, and that as a heterosexual woman and a basketball player who gets a lot of attention, that she gets hate that way. So do you think that has anything to do with it?
So it's,
I hate to put you on the spot like that, but
no, it's fine. All of the expressions of issues that we have in our society are expressed in this whole ball of storm that is the WNBA, right? Our issues with transgenderism and homosexuality, our issues with racism, it's all intertwined and expressed in what is going on in the WNBA, right?
Yeah.
And so it speaks to everyone who feels marginalized or disrespected because of their ideology and how they live or how they express love or whatever. Is all intertwined with this mess that is the WNBA, and it really is. So I can't tell which is what. I know that there are some people that have issues with the league because it seems like every woman have girlfriends in the league, and it speaks to their views about that. And my views on those things, right? My views are different on those things, and it all comes out. But my thing is, you now have the fans in order for it to come out because nobody was watching before, right? These things were happening. Nobody cared.
Right.
And as a result of all of this, you girls have gotten paid. The base salary last year was $75,000 for a rookie. It has now gone up 4 or 5 times because of the collective bargaining agreement. So they are now millionaires for all of this headache, right? People the stars in the league who are getting paid a salary of $250,000 are now making over $1 million.
Right.
Okay. So the money has gone up. So while you're beating this young woman that is really responsible for it, what are we doing? So yes, people have a lot of issues and problems with everything that we do. This is why we have the Hope Show. This is why we talk about these things.
Let's hear from Caitlyn. Let's hear Caitlyn's own words because she talks about it a little bit here.
And viewership is as high as it's ever been. Every arena selling out. That's not just for us. That's for teams across the league. And we can't, just beat on each other and put each other down. And, we just have to continue to find ways to uplift.
Time ask him to shut up.
There it is. I mean, she said it, right?
That's right. And she always, Caitlyn, for the most part, just plays. Yes, she has her temper tantrums as she should. She's a generational talent.
Here's the thing. Couple things. She's repeatedly and publicly condemned racism directed WNBA players, including Angel Reese, right? She has defended Angel Reese. She did a Time interview where she spoke about uplifting Black players, those that built the league. And some fans after the interview criticized her and said that she did not take a stronger stance and was a sellout. So
it's never enough.
I just think
never
that
enough.
she's a lightning rod for controversy because we've never seen anything like her.
Exactly.
She's that good, right? And, I mean, I think the players coming along behind her potentially could be
they're
better.
good.
That's how it is. Yeah, that's how it is. And people are going to say, "Well, she hasn't won anything." Well, you know what?
We never cared about that. We don't care about that.
She could never win a championship. I still want to show up and watch her drop.
I think Michael Jordan became the face of the league before he won anything.
Yeah, and he didn't win.
He definitely did after he won, but he was already. I mean, Larry Bird and Magic were already acknowledging the changing of the guard before he won anything.
Yeah, and he was in the league for 8 years before he won something too, which most people forget. But at the end of the day, I want to see Caitlyn drop 45-10, 6 and 4. Like that's all I care about. I don't care if she ever wins.
The other night she had 45 points, 10 assists in 29 minutes.
Right.
Like what are we talking about? In 29 minutes against a team, and everybody said, well, Seattle was a bad team. Seattle almost beat Minnesota. Seattle plays everybody tough. Like, what are we talking about?
That's right. So, well, Terrace, we're about coming up on it. So how do we tie these together? We got the first one, which is Black professional athletes choosing to marry white women. And there's, as you said, there's some issues there between validation and the transactional nature of it. We've got the guy in the middle, Andrew Tate, who is toxic masculinity, defined, who is now in jail for sex trafficking, rape, child pornography. I want to say that one again, child pornography. And then we've got Caitlyn Clark, who is a generational talent, faces criticism from all sides. So 3 different topics, but all have some, strains of similarities running through them. So I'm going to turn it over to you to give us your final thought.
I have a prayer. I can give a thought. I can do my prayer, which ties it together.
Okay. Perfect.
I mean, all three of the stories just speak to the fact that we need more love and we need more healing, right? And we need to be honest. We need more emotional self-evaluation, more emotional evaluation of ourselves, and we need more honesty and we need more love in the world. Yep. That's what it speaks to. All right. And I have a prayer that
a prayer for us.
I do have a prayer to sum this all up because
let's do it.
I now have a headache. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Okay.
Hey, yeah, there is one video that I somehow lost that probably would have made your head explode. I'm glad we didn't get to it. So, pray us away, brother. Pray us away.
A metaphysical prayer of emotional honesty. Blessed source of all creation, great mother, womb of the universe, force of compassion and nurturing light, and great father, pillar of the cosmos, force of protection and unyielding truth, we stand before you in absolute emotional honesty. Hold on. My thing is tripping. Look at this. Oh, great.
You're having the technical difficulty.
I'm having a technical difficulty. Unyielding truth, we stand before you in absolute emotional honesty, stripping away all illusions, pretenses, and masks. Look at this. We ask for the courage to see the world as it is, to feel what must be felt, and to speak truth without fear. Guide our hearts to look upon the complexities of human ambition, systemic exploitation, and cultural division with clear, untainted vision. Fill us with the discernment to see through deception, the strength to reject harm, and the grace to seek healing. May your divine balance restore order where there is chaos, bring clarity where there is distortion, and hold a mirror of truth to all of humanity. Blessed be, and so it is.
And so it is. And Terrace, your prayers are always on point. I want to make sure before we go, we want to do 2 things. We want to tell you to don't forget to subscribe to the Hope Show podcast on YouTube. We got a couple of emails here, Terrace, that I wanted to share We're not going to comment on them. We're just going to get somebody else's, some other opinions out here, and then we'll sign off. So one email said, many black men's ultimate idea of beauty is a white woman. White skin, straight or wavy hair, cultural differences than black women. And when the opportunity presents itself, he leaps! ! They don't see or smell a white woman's stink. The white woman and her family are invested in his bank account. That came from Chicago, Illinois. All right, this next one says, teaching children manners and to be respectful throughout their childhood molds their personality and beliefs early in life. This makes it harder to be influenced by men like Andrew Tate. That one is directly about Andrew Tate. That one comes from Atlanta, Georgia. The next one, you will never bring hate on yourself when you throw a tantrum. This is about Caitlyn Clark. Not funny. Play ball. I can't take a person down at my job because they make more money than me or more popular, right? So I guess that's defending Caitlyn Clark. And that person also recommended that stiff fines and suspensions should happen. That came from Maine. Yeah, thank you. Shout out to Maine. So anyway, yeah, Terrace, thank you for the prayer. Thank you for those who are sending the comments to the Hope Show.
Absolutely.
And Terrace, we'll see you in a couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, you're gonna do it again. I'm sure something will happen. And about those streamers.
And sure, folks, when we hang up, I'm going to have to hear about these streamers for another 15 minutes. I'm going to pour myself a bourbon and pretend like I'm listening. So, anyway, hey, guys.
All right, Dr. Lamont, I'm out.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time at the Hope Show. Take care.
All right.